guys, what's up and welcome to another episode of the Good Cast Show. So good to be back in the studio, and this episode today is brought to you by the World Glaucoma Week Charity Run 2025, an event you don't want to miss that's happening at Taman Botani, Negara, Shah at 7:15 a.m. on the 23rd of February this year. That's a Sunday, by the way. So wake up early, have some fun with your friends and family at this run, simply for the noble reason of raising funds for donation for the Malaysian Eye Patient Society. You could also win amazing lucky draw prizes. There's bicycles, tablets. I see so many other prizes. So you want to sign up. We'll be sharing the link in the description of this video and all of our short videos on TikTok and Instagram as well. So join in the fun and do it for a noble cause. So today, I'm joined by the amazing Dr. Pushpa. She's a consultant ophthalmologist. There we go. I said that word correctly. And she's an eye surgeon as well as a committee member of the Malaysian Glaucoma Society, who happen to be the organizers of the World Glaucoma Week Charity Run 2025. So welcome, Doctor. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Vinod. Happy to be here.
Yes.
And thanks for championing this noble cause.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I wanted to join, but fun run. I saw 5 km. I said, okay, I'm going to challenge myself this time. My first 5 km.
I think you have to join.
I have to join. Okay, I have to join now. So I'll be there as well. 5 km. Dear Lord. Okay, I've never done 1 km on a treadmill, but I'll do this for glaucoma. Let's do it.
Definitely, yeah.
So, Doctor, as you can see, guys, when you can see it, so she brought a prop. It's the eyes. There we go. This is how your eye looks like. I think I saw this way back when in a bio lab, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, good.
So let's talk about the eyes, Doctor. That's your special, your whole focus here.
Yeah.
So I want to get straight to it.
Yeah.
What do our eyes hate? What's bad for our eyes?
Okay. Very difficult question to start with.
Okay, sorry.
I mean, whatever that you love, the eyes hate. You love sugar, the eyes don't like sugar. You like
Really?
your screens, you love your iPads and phones so much, but the eyes don't like it that much, you know? So, I mean, there is, I have to come on and say this. We take care of all our organs, but I think often eyes are the one that get neglected the most. And ophthalmologists, we always get asked, are you real doctors? It's like, maybe because you care for the heart so much. You love the cardiologist, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and you tend to neglect the eye, so you don't really see us that much. So, yeah, that's the problem, and that's why I want to come on and talk to you about this eye health and especially glaucoma. Okay.
Now, before that, you said something that caught me. You said our eyes hate sugar.
Sure.
How? Why, Doctor? I love sugar.
No, I mean, it stems down to diabetes, actually. If you're aware of the statistics, our other part of the world is different. In Malaysia, diabetic retinopathy is leading cause of blindness. Is one of the cause of blindness that you can't even, is one of the irreversible cause of blindness. In cataract and refractive error means myopia, nearsightedness, long-sightedness, that can be always corrected. But if you lose your vision due to diabetic retinopathy and later glaucoma, it mostly is not reversible. So it's a huge loss to a productive workforce in Malaysia, actually, especially the 30 to 40 and 50, most of them losing their eyesight due to diabetes. In Malaysia. I'm talking about Malaysia.
So they're losing their eyesight by 30, 40.
I mean, the age group 30 to 50, the most productive workforce, they are losing their eyesight mainly due to diabetic retinopathy.
My goodness.
So diabetic retinopathy is definitely a big topic to talk about, and we really need more awareness on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so then let's switch the question then, Doctor.
Yeah.
What's good for our eyes? What do our eyes love?
All right. I mean, I like to divide this by children and adults.
Okay.
And for the children, for generally, there is this eye health question that we can divide into pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Okay.
Okay. So COVID played a very important role in between, because what happened in Singapore and Hong Kong previously, before COVID, is like they were all living in a high-rise building, and they put children indoors, and they reduced the outdoor activity because they want the children to study. You know, they want them to excel in academics. So most of them developed the nearsightedness. Like a medical term is myopia. So that used to happen in Hong Kong and Singapore and that kind of countries. But after COVID, myopia became a pandemic. So most of our children, especially Malaysia, India, South Asia, everywhere, myopia became a big problem after COVID, because we put our children indoor and then we gave them iPad and tablets and phones to babysit them. So nearsightedness is on the rise, alarmingly very high, and most of our the kids are now on specs. That poor kids that they were like 3 to 7 years old during the COVID, and most of them, I mean, we don't really have a real statistics now, but I think everyone will agree with me. It became a pandemic, and now we are dealing with it. So for children, reducing your screen time and near activities is very, very, very important. So don't tell them like go and use the iPad and then take the iPad and ask them to draw, and then after that giving them the Lego. It's the same thing. It's the same near activity. What's good for children, actually, we give it as a prescription. We say go play outside. Outside activities like outdoor activities, 90 to 120 minutes, potentially can slow down the progression of myopia. So that's what they did in Singapore and Hong Kong. Like they stopped their school timing and then they allowed the kids to play outside, and they saw tremendous improvement. And now all of the eye specialists now keep telling all the children, it's like, go outside, play. They have to look far. They have to start looking far, like, the ball coming from far, like the trees. The side vision, the periphery vision is amount of light that goes into the eye, the brightness or where the light hitting the eye from, it's all matters. First, for children, outdoor activity is the one that I prescribe. The eyes love outdoor, so they have to go outdoor. For adults, it's more to a nutrition and drink water, please, and hydrate yourself, and aerobic exercises. Aerobic exercises are the exercises that increases your pulse rate, like walking, jogging, and all those things. Aerobic exercises very good for blood flow, so that definitely improve your eye health as well.
Oh, amazing. It's such a simple solution for kids.
Exactly.
But okay, doctor, this is something that we have all heard, right?
Yes.
How devices have, and in fact, I've talked about this in this podcast so many times.
Did?
Yes.
That's good.
No, but not on what you're talking about. We talked about more the impact it has on the psychological and all that. That's what we talked about. But never, yeah. But when it comes to, I think people just don't see the correlation. How is it by me? For example, I think the one that people do a lot is staring at their phones before they go to bed.
That's bad.
Before they sleep.
Yeah.
How is that bad for your eyes?
Okay, for adults.
Yeah, for adults.
Adults. First thing is when you stare at any screen, you reduce your blink rate. The eyes need to blink, right? When you use screen, generally you tend to blink less. So that causes dry eye. Another strain that it causes is because with the dim light, the eye need to strain to look at the light, to look at the screen. So that causes amount of eye strain. And there is a specific spectrum of disease, what we call computer vision syndrome, because it comes with the eye strain, the muscle, and your neck, because you keep flexing your neck and you're keeping it in the prolonged position. So that causes occupational hazards, and then people tend to get this neck spondylosis, which we used to get in 65, 70 years old. Now you're getting it at 40 years old because you tend to keep your neck at the flex position. And a thing called, I'm sure I have that too, if you start putting your finger together, if it's bent, then you have an iPhone finger because you tend to hold your phone more.
Oh, mine is quite straight, actually.
Okay, mine is
well done.
So that you tend to have your arthritis in the fingers, in the thumb.
My goodness.
There are so many things happening. But of course, you need to embrace more. Thank God we don't get the calluses like the laborers in the 60s. But now is the new occupational hazards with the screens and all those things. But generally with the adults, it's just that. It's the dry eye, is the lifestyle, how it affects your things. And another thing is it disturbs your melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that allows you to sleep. The biological clock, right? So biological clock depends on the light that you get. So if you're going to expose your eye to artificial light, so their body forget what is the real biological clock. That's why you have your sleep problem. So by right, we sleep from sunrise to sunset. Sunset to sunrise. But you artificially inducing a lot of bright light near your eye, and that confuses your circadian rhythm, biological clock, and that causes all other problems,
Just one small habit leads to so many things.
Yeah, leads to cascades of things.
But I have to ask this because when you're a kid,
you got interested with the kids.
Yeah. No. I mean, like as a kid, you're always told to eat your carrots. You said carrots are good for eyes. Tomatoes are good for eyes. Is that true? Is vitamin A really that great for your eyes?
Yeah. Of course. Vitamin A, if if you say vitamin A, it is because our part of the world is not a big problem, but in sub-Saharan countries, Africa, vitamin A induced lack of vitamin A induced blindness is still a big thing.
Vitamin A induced blindness.
I mean, vitamin A deficient blindness.
My goodness.
Because they didn't get enough vitamin A. So it is a preventable disease, isn't it? You give the child food rich in vitamin A and they don't get that. But unfortunately, a lot of people can't afford that food. So all the parents didn't give enough vitamin A rich food, but mostly it's because of the poverty and the starvation. So that's a vitamin A deficient blindness. It's still a big thing in sub-Saharan countries. So we give them vitamin A like a prescription and all those things. But our part of the world, it's not. I think we have a lot of food rich in vitamin A, and carrot just happen to be one of it.
One of it, okay. There's
one
many
of it.
others.
Eating carrot not going to reverse any of your blindness or any
I'm
of
not
your
saying
eye
that. I'm not
condition.
saying that, yeah.
No, but including carrot or any other food that equally rich in vitamin A is good for your eye, especially in children.
So, how frequently should I say I'm approaching my 40s? So, how frequently should I be getting my eyes checked, or should I be doing it at a much younger age?
Okay, for children. Okay, well, let's start with children and adult.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're the baby born prematurely, they have to get eye checkup earlier because the blood vessels or the eye didn't develop properly. But 2 to 5 years old, if you know that the child already used a lot of iPad, you exposed the child earlier to the screen, they have to get screened. Because the early sign is like all this eye rubbing and then they're trying to squinting. Because most of the time what happens is the child go to school after 5 years old and the teacher pick up. Like saying that, this child is like not seeing properly, like she tends to sit in front of the class. Then only they get the problem that, the child might have any eye issues. But if your child is 2 to 5 and you see that she's using a lot of near vision thing and then screens, they need to get, because what we tend to develop is a lazy eye. Even though the eye has all the potential, but just because you didn't correct the refractive power, they tend to develop lazy eye. So 2 to 5 years old children at risk definitely need to get screened. And after 5, thank God, our MOH, Ministry of Health, we have a good eye screening systems in the school and kindergartens. Usually they do yearly, they go for the school visits and they try to pick up the kids. But if your child is in a center that don't have all these facilities, or in a private school or international school, I'm not sure, they have to get yearly eye assessment to pick up myopia, nearsightedness or refractive error at an early stage. Because before 12, especially before 8, if you pick up any of this, it's reversible. As in, you can prevent the lazy eye before all the wiring happens, But if the wiring all completed at the age of 12 already, then even you do anything, like you're not going to get a perfect eye, a perfect vision for that child. So the children that you have eye respect, especially if the parents wearing glasses, it's almost genetics. The nearsighted, they need to get screened. If you see your child is like rubbing the eye a lot, like trying to squint, or if they have crossed eye, all that thing, they have to get screened. After 40, definitely all of us need to get screened at least once a year. The problem is we go for regular medical checkup. Like you check your sugar, you check your glucose, cholesterol, everything, but you don't go for your eye checkup because, again, now, the problem is probably environment, the environment, the diet, what we live, artificial lights. We tend to get all the diseases earlier. Last time I said after 50, now we have lowered the age to 40 because, especially as I said later, we'll come to glaucoma. Glaucoma, there's diabetic retinopathy, all these diseases, if you pick up early, it's very surely most of the time you can prevent blindness. It's a preventable because, again, when things happen, it's irreversible.
Yeah.
So the best way is not go through the path. Like, don't go at the path. Like, try to prevent before the eye hitting. Another important thing is there's a lot of systemic conditions that you can just pick up by doing an eye examination. I mean, come to
Please. Finally, we're using a prop in this podcast. First time.
Really? Oh, sorry. I'm dismantling all the eye.
No, please, yeah.
Okay. So, if you can see, this is the retina, mostly the important part of the eye. So this is where the sensory, whatever that you see is hit the retina, and this is the optic nerve. This is the wire that connects to the brain. Actually, eye is the extension of the brain. That's why it's like when the body develop, like the brain develop, the extension of a brain is the eye. So the nerve is connected to the brain. So that's why whatever the damage that happened to retina and optic nerve, it's irreversible. It's golden. Like this retina and optic nerve is golden. So you don't want any damage to happen to them. So our skin cells, epidermis, dermis, they can grow. The nails can grow. Blood vessels, they can grow back. But nerves in the eye, they don't grow back. So the best way is don't damage them. Okay? So this, and the beautiful part is, we can see through the eye, like the ophthalmologists. We have a specific devices we can look through, and we can directly look at your nerves and arteries, the blood vessels, the tiny little microcapillaries. I can see the capillaries. So sometimes when you don't even have diabetes, but the diabetes already manifested in your blood vessels, I can see that happening in the retina.
Really?
Yeah. So diabetes, hypertension, sometimes we can see cholesterol plaques in the eye, and stroke. I know there will be the stroke. I mean, if the plaque is in the eyes, there will be a mini stroke in the eye. But that is just an indication that that plaque can be anywhere in the body because it's the same blood vessels. So if the plaque is plaque means it's a block. Thrombus, we call it. If the thrombus is in the brain, then you'll get a stroke. If the thrombus is in the heart, you'll get a heart attack. If it's in the kidney, it can cause kidney problem. But just because in the eye, I can see it and I can tell you, see, you have this risk factor. You have to get screened and you have to control the risk factors.
Man, I didn't. Wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
So eye examination, I think it's essential. You just get your eye screen, and if your nerves and the blood vessels are normal, at least you have a general idea. It's probably the rest of the body is doing all right.
My goodness. Fantastic,
Right.
doctor.
Okay.
Nice.
So we have a lens in the eye. Okay, this is the most commonest thing, right? So the lens supposed to be transparent. Okay, and then this lens allow you to focus. It's like a camera focus, near, far and all. But after 40, you lose the ability to focus. That's why you get your presbyopia. I mean, you can't read near. You're all right with your near vision?
I think so. You're making me feel so insecure now.
So after 40, so the lens won't be able to accommodate that much. So first it will start as a near vision problem, and then start putting your reading glasses, and then you start lowering your glasses. Okay, all that symptoms showing that your lens is not focusing yet. After a while, it will change color. So when it change color, that's the term that we give to cataract. You heard the term cataract before.
Yeah.
Okay. So the cataract is just a condition of lens clouding. As the hair grays, the lens has to cloud. It's the same process. Okay. But not necessarily if you have cataract, you have to go for surgery. Because some patients with cataract, but they can still well. That means the lens is still trying the best to focus and make them see well. But eventually, you will need to remove the cataract and put in an artificial lens. But now the technology has come so good. I know the machines are better, the lenses are better, the skills of the operating ophthalmologists, because we have. It's a different world now we are living in, of course, right? So cataract surgery is like a 10-15 minute surgery. Daycare, it's better than your dental extraction. It's easier than that. So there is no reason that you have to put up with your cataract. Absolutely safe. Most of the time, it's one of the most commonest performed surgery in the world and one of the safest surgery. So if you have cataract, vision loss due to cataract, should just get it done. So, but in Malaysia, the problem is, we have done a recent national eye survey, but in 2023, MOH done it, and we still identify cataract as a leading cause of blindness, which is unfortunate.
Okay.
Because I think probably there is a lot of myth around the cataract surgery and all, and the patient or public not really aware that there is the technology is much better now, that the surgery is absolutely safe. Safer. And not as tunggu masa, all the words tunggu masa and tunggu dia tebal. belum, all the Chinese people, they will say lah, mok, they call it mok belum masak lagi, they say like that. So all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, one of the myths that I think, since you touched myths, another myth that I've heard is that, say if I were to be wearing glasses, I can sort of remove those glasses after a while by doing certain eye exercises. I can remove I don't have to wear glasses. Is that true?
No, okay.
Have you heard this as well?
Yeah,
yes,
of
you've
course.
heard this, right?
Okay. The real nearsightedness happens, I don't want to go into very good detail because the eyeball elongates. Remember I said the eye is not getting enough outdoor signals or whatever, we are not sure. The eyeball elongates. So if our normal length is about 24 millimeter, 23 to 24, so even 1 millimeter elongation causes about 3 diopter. Diopter as in like how much you can see, the power. So you heard about the power, 100, 200, 300. Even 1 millimeter elongation can cause about 3 diopter, 300 power increase. Okay, so can you reverse the elongation? No. And once
prayer,
the
maybe.
eye away cannot. Sometimes what happens, there's a condition called pseudomyopia. Pseudomyopia means fake myopia. That means the eyeball didn't elongate, but you just used your eye so much that you tired your eye. The muscles are not strong. That kind of condition is not a real nearsightedness, but that kind of condition, when you do some eye exercise or you relax or you meditate or you do, that can reverse. As in, when it's not a real myopia, anything that you do to relax your muscle, that might help, especially those after 40 years old. But any true myopia, no.
Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry, but of course, I'm sure you heard about LASIK.
Yes.
Yeah,
laser surgery.
because the lens carries some power. The front part of the eye is called cornea. The cornea carry most of the power. So what we can do is we can alter the shape of the cornea to cure practically as in get you a spectacle independence.
Okay, but that's only with laser surgery.
Laser surgery. You can do some laser on the cornea so that
Is it safe?
It's very safe. It's safe.
Because I've heard myths that people go blind and all that kind of stuff.
No, maybe it's true about 10 years ago.
But not now.
Not now. I am not a refractive surgeon. I'm a glaucoma surgeon. But I'm sure if you talk to my refractive colleagues who do this day in, day out, like 20, 30 a day, patients are very happy. There's like, they toss their glasses. And I'm sure you're going to ask why I'm still wearing glasses.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that. Miss Eye Doctor.
I'm already beyond the age that you should do LASIK. And I recommended age.
Okay.
And then probably in my time, I wasn't very convinced with the machines that
Okay.
time. But now the machines are fantastic.
Okay.
Really, really. Again, there's no reason why you not do.
So you talked about sleeping habits. We talked about using phones before you sleep. You talked about being indoors instead of going outdoors and all that. Are there any other elements of our lifestyle that can impact our eye health? Say, for example, food.
Food, of course. Because you know that you are what you eat, right? So the eye develop depending on the food. But the most important thing is, of course, vitamin A, C, D, and K. All this are very important in shaping the eye because we have the retina. Retina has a photoreceptors. They have to develop. So vitamin A is very important. But now the food-wise, I think it's generally the systemic condition. Like, you eat more cholesterol. They tend to deposit in the eye. And
Sorry, that means one of the places where the body actually deposits cholesterol is in your eye.
Yeah. There is cholesterol plaques in the eye. Then they can cause a mini stroke in the eye.
Oh.
So mini stroke happen because
Why the eye? The blood, I guess.
Because it's the end vessel. End vessel, like you can see the nerve is ending there.
Uh-huh.
So there is nowhere, if the cholesterol is traveling from your heart, going everywhere.
Oh, I didn't know the eye. Okay.
So they travel in the eye and then they stay in the eye because there is nowhere. It's the end organ, right? So end organ as in where the blood vessels end. So
Okay.
of course, it can happen in any other organs as well. But because it's in the eye, we can see. And because the eye vessels are very tiny, even a tiny little cholesterol plaques can cause a stroke. Okay, and of course the cholesterol can deposit in the cornea. I'm sure you've seen people with the cornea with the ring,
Yes.
whitish ring.
Yes.
That is a cholesterol deposit. It's called arcus senilis. Arcus senilis means it comes with the aging because over the years you deposit cornea. But never mind, it's harmless because it's not the center cornea because you see through the center cornea.
Can that lead to blindness?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not
Okay.
at all. Not
Okay.
at all. Don't worry.
Okay.
But it's just that when we see, when it's like, have you checked your cholesterol?
Yeah.
We say that. So it's that's why I say doing just a simple eye examination can tell a lot about yourself.
Yeah. So, okay, but doctor, in your experience, what are the main sort of big problems when it comes to eye health? Okay, besides glaucoma, because we are going to go into that.
Right, yeah.
Besides glaucoma, what are the key eye problems faced by Malaysians?
If you ask Malaysians, I have to say diabetes. All right, I've already spoke about it.
Yeah.
Okay, in working adults. Okay, so because it's such a pity to lose the eye due to diabetes.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Okay. Another myth is not getting glasses on time for the children, because I think we still have a belief that if they start wearing glasses now, that might damage the eye. Or they will wear glasses forever. Let's try not to give them glasses and force the eye to see. I'm sure you heard about this myth, but the problem is, you permanently telling the brain that this is the vision. They are seeing some blurry vision, right? So the brain seeing that blurry vision and it assumes that's normal. The child don't know what is the clear vision. So that's why you get the lazy eye, because brain assumes this is normal and that's going to fix on it. Okay, even later at the age of 20, if you're going to give them the glasses, they won't see well because the brain don't know what is normal. So the problem with the Malaysian is uncorrected refractive error. Refractive error means you have to wear glasses for certain reason, either nearsightedness, or there's certain people with a long-sightedness, or astigmatism, silau. All these three conditions need to be corrected with glasses, or if the child is good enough with the contact lenses is still a good option. Okay, teenagers and all. Glasses, contact lenses, or laser whenever after 20, all that necessary. But in children, they have to wear glasses if they have to wear glasses. There is no reason you should prevent them from wearing glasses, trying to force the eye to see. It's not going to happen. You're just going to end the child in a condition called lazy eye. The problem with the lazy eye is one eye will be good, another eye will be lazy, or sometimes both eye will be lazy, and they will lose the stereopsis. Stereopsis is a 3D vision. 3D vision gives you a depth of perception, like how far the car coming from, like how far and how deep, like, the 3D you see. So when the both eye cannot see together, they lose the 3D.
So they can't drive?
They can drive, and eventually they have, they learn, but the problem will come when they come to profession like us, like, when you want to do microsurgery, or any, I don't know, maybe later graphic designing or whatever that require the 3D. And of course, the eye surgeons, we all go through a 3D vision and assessment and all those things. So some people, they fail, and then only they realize that they have some lazy eye, that they didn't develop the stereopsis. So you are damaging the child for a long run when you stop giving them the right vision in the right time. So again, if they have to wear glasses, they have to wear glasses.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, so that is the problem in Malaysia. First thing, most important cause of blindness is uncorrected refractive error. It's funny. It's just a thing that can be corrected by glasses. So easily.
Yeah.
And second thing is definitely cataract. Again, the treatment is readily available in government hospitals. Almost free. B40 gets free treatment, free lenses. And in even private surgeries are quite all right, affordable. I'm sure you save your money for some reason. You can do it for the cataract. And then the third will be the shared by diabetes and glaucoma. And diabetic retinopathy and glaucoma, sadly, is irreversible for certain extent. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, there we go. We just finished eye health care, and so many things you have talked about. I think we could just do 1 hour of just eye health care, right?
I know.
But so the reason why we're here today is, of course, to talk about the run, which is why Dr. Pushpa is with us, the World Glaucoma Week Charity Run 2025. So the links will be in the description. Remember, the event's happening on the 23rd of Feb. It's a very fun run at Taman, Botani, Negara, Shah, and the reason for which is to raise funds for donations to the Malaysian Eye Patient Society, which is to help those who are visually impaired to better their lives, and as well as spreading awareness about glaucoma. So back to this. The next segment, of course, is glaucoma, which again, doctor, I must be honest, I knew a little bit about, but I was surprised to find out that it is the third leading cause of blindness in Malaysia.
Irreversible.
Irreversible blindness. So, okay, so let's get to it, doctor. Imagine you're talking to a 4-year-old now. What is glaucoma, and how many variants of glaucoma are there?
Okay. So glaucoma is a condition, as I said, the eye is an extension of the brain. the brain cells die for a certain reason, like in Alzheimer and dementia, the same thing can happen in the eye. The nerves in the eye, they can die for certain reasons. Most of the time is genetics. You can't do anything about it. If you possess the gene of, you have the genes for glaucoma, you have it. So when you have a genetics, the thing is, the gun is loaded. You just need one trigger factor. Okay, so when you have the genetics and you add one risk factor, most likely you will develop glaucoma. So
okay, but sorry, doctor, but what are some of the trigger factors?
Okay, first of all, glaucoma is a condition where your nerve, the optic nerve, the wire that connect the eye to the brain, get thinner and thinner for certain reasons. So we have about 1.2 million to 1.5 million axons, the nerves in the optic nerve. So one by one start dying. That's why you don't see it earlier. So that's why we call glaucoma silent thief of sight. Because, one here and there dying, you won't even notice. But when most of the nerves dead, then only you realize that you can't see much. Okay? So the risk factors for glaucoma, again, what I worry the most is myopia. So for now, I'm not seeing that many glaucoma, but I said the COVID kids, when they become when they become 40 and over, we're going to see an epidemic of glaucoma as well. Because when the eyeball elongated, the nerve automatically get thinner. All right, myopia, I said earlier, right? The eyeball is elongating. So when the eyeball is stretched, the nerve is already thin. On top of it, if you have the genetics, you're going to get glaucoma, which can lead to blindness. So one risk factor is myopia. So if you have myopia after 40, definitely you need to get screened for glaucoma. Second risk factor that I have to emphasize is steroid use, which is very commonly abused in Malaysia. I only can say for Malaysia. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. Because steroids is hidden everywhere. In our society, sometimes it's in the traditional medicine. You don't know, you don't know the content of the traditional medicine. Sometimes, you take that, of course, steroids is going to make you feel better. And sometimes you take steroids for your workout. So all that can increase the eye pressure.
Does that also apply for steroid creams that you use for your eyes?
You have the steroid creams, the dermatological steroid creams, the puffs for the asthma. What else? The nasal spray that contains steroid. And sometimes you abuse eye drops. The steroid eye drops, of course, makes your eye whiter. When you have repeated allergies, some pharmacies, they tend to prescribe steroid drops without doctor's prescription. So it will cure your allergy, but it can cause you glaucoma. Right? So if you are on steroid for some reason, but of course there are systemic conditions that require a long-term steroid. If you are on steroid for some reason, please get checked for the glaucoma. Another hidden thing that people don't really know is the obstructive sleep apnea. You snore. When you snore a lot, that means when you're sleeping, the tongue falls back, right? It's called obstructive sleep apnea. That means there are periods when you're sleeping, you don't get enough oxygen to the brain. The same thing to the eye. There is not enough oxygen to the eye. So if your optic nerve is compromised, if you already have a genetically predisposed optic nerve that can develop glaucoma, you add on obstructive sleep apnea, then you will develop glaucoma because there are periods of lack of oxygen to the eye. So OSA, obstructive sleep apnea, the snoring part, need to get checked.
I had no idea snoring can cause glaucoma.
Snoring implies that you have a condition that reduces the blood supply to the eye. So these are the risk factors that often get neglected. But of course, apart from that, the usual is the diabetes, the hypertension, vascular risk factors, heart disease, because all this telling that the blood flow is not great.
I'm going to be very honest with you, doctor, and this is going to make me sound very stupid, but I always thought that glaucoma was a condition where your eyes sort of swell.
No. I think you got the idea from because we keep talking about eye pressure.
Yes.
Okay. So see, this nerve is dying for certain reason. We don't know why. As Alzheimer and as dementia, right? All the brain cells. So why we emphasize on eye pressure? Because the only way for us to save the nerve from dying is to reduce the eye pressure. So that's why the eye pressure comes into the factor of glaucoma. So, and most of the time, the patients with glaucoma, they tend to have very high eye pressure. Okay, now you have to sit back. Eye pressure and blood pressure is not the same thing. Okay, eye practically a balloon with water. So it contains some pressure. So do you get high eye pressure if you have a high blood pressure? No, they are not related. That's a total different mechanism. All right. So the normal eye pressure, when you say normal, is the 90% of the population is 21 and below. So if anyone during the eye screening, we catch them and we know that they have eye pressure more than 21, we label them at risk of glaucoma. But that not necessarily mean they have glaucoma. I mean, they can develop glaucoma, right? So that's why screening is important. So the glaucoma is only diagnosed when I see there is a damage to the optic nerve. So as long as the optic nerve is still normal, we will label you that you have high eye pressure. We will monitor you, and then if there is a risk of developing glaucoma, then we will treat you accordingly. All right. So eye pressure is just a component of glaucoma, but it does not necessarily mean, because you'll be amazed. You'll be alarmed also, because there is in Asian, there's the condition called normal tension glaucoma. I mean, even though the pressure is about 15, 16, they still develop glaucoma. That's quite high in Asians. Because again, this 2021 is based on the Caucasian population.
Okay,
Right. So I
okay.
tend to put Malaysian eye at 18, so the smaller stages. Probably you need a lower eye pressure to protect your optic nerve. So eye pressure is just a component.
Okay, doctor, I love this topic. I'm so curious. Now, don't our cell, again, layman, no medical degree whatsoever.
Definitely.
Don't our cells die and regenerate, right?
Yes.
So is that the same principle for our optic nerves? Wouldn't they also die and then regenerate, or do they just stay the way they are?
Unfortunately, no. Again, eye is an extension of a brain. So once the brain cell die, they're not going to grow back. So the eye cells, the optic nerve and the retina, they are not going to grow back.
Okay.
Whatever the damage done is done.
Okay.
So when a patient come to us with glaucoma, I can only slow the progress from the time you come. Okay, so when I say they have the 1.5 million optic nerve, and when the glaucoma damage start to happen, it happens in the periphery. So, you won't notice if you don't see here. So, and then it will start closing up. This nerve will die, this nerve will die. And you won't still notice. Because, for you, this central vision is the most important one. We all fixated on the center. We don't care what's happening up and down. But slowly things will closing up. So eventually in the advanced stage, they left with a tunnel vision. That means if there is a person here, they can't see. And if it's bar there, they go and knock on the bar, or they trip on the staircase. And when they're driving, they can't see there is a car beside them. So that's when people start to realize that there's something wrong. But again, if your center vision also closed, even smaller, that's a real advanced stage, and such a pity. Because if you come to us at that stage, all I can do is to preserve whatever that's left. So your gone is gone. I can't reverse it. So that's why we want to catch people earlier when they still have a lot of visual field,
For example, you have type 1, type 2 diabetes. Are there different types of glaucoma?
Yes. A bit more technical.
No, please. This is so fun.
Okay. So the eye is a balloon with water. We are talking about inflow and outflow, like a sink, with the water coming in and water going out. So essentially, you want to maintain a certain amount of water in the eye. So the drain has to work perfectly. So when you have genetically predisposed glaucoma, the drain somehow, they don't filter that much. Okay? So but they are still open. The drain is open, but it's not working as much. The sieves are not. So this is called open angle glaucoma. You have a drain, but they're not working very well. Okay?
Sorry, this drain, is it the blood vessels?
No, the drain is in the front part of the eye.
Oh, so the brain discharges from the front?
No, the eye.
The eye. The eye.
There is a water inside the eye. Is the eye essentially a balloon of water?
Yeah.
The water need to keep replacing, right?
Yeah.
The new water, the water in the eye we call aqueous humor. It comes from inside the eye, this area. It produces, and it drains from here. It's within. They have a system.
Oh, so it's within the eye.
Within the eye,
you don't cry it out or something.
But from here, it will go into your blood system.
Okay.
So, but this drain, when it's open, it should pump out water properly, like a sieve,
Okay.
But some people, they have a genetically predisposed closed, the sieve that doesn't work. They still have an open angle. I can still see the angle, but the drain, but the drain is not working. So in this kind of situation, the pressure will build up very slowly. Like it will be like 15, 16 first, and then 18, then 20, 21. So because the pressure is gradually building up, you don't feel it. The patient won't feel any symptoms. Sometimes they come with us to 30, 40. It's like, nah, I didn't feel anything. I don't know. So because they're so used to the pressure building up over years, nothing going to happen over the night,
It takes years.
It takes years. This is open angle glaucoma. So this is the scary one, of course, because it's silent, very silent. And by the time they come, they have lost most of the nerves, and 50%, 60% is gone. That is open angle. The other one is an acute angle, as in like, this drain suddenly close. So that happened mostly in our country is because of the cataract. So the cataract is at the back, right? So they didn't take out the cataract in time. The cataract will start to swell up, taking up most of the space in the eye. And then it decides to close up the drain immediately.
So cataract can lead to glaucoma?
Yes, and that is a pity because, again, as I said,
Such a simple procedure.
Such a simple procedure. So this is called closed angle glaucoma. So because with the closed angle glaucoma, you never felt that 30-40 pressure in your eye, you will have severe eye pain. You will have severe eye pain. The eye will be red. You feel like vomiting because you really cannot take that 50-60 pressure. The eye cannot take it. Your brain cannot take it. So they will be like sick. And this is a medical emergency. If you have any symptoms like severe eye pain, redness, headache with nausea or vomiting, you have to go to nearest eye hospital as soon as possible to reverse of course, removing the cataract can solve, but you have to reduce the pressure as soon as possible to save your nerves, because you can go blind immediately also because you are not used to that amount of pressure. So that is closed angle glaucoma. So closed angle glaucoma in some sense is symptomatic. It gives you some alarm. Open angle glaucoma, it don't give you any signs until the last minute, until your vision close up.
Okay.
So again, that's why we say it's silent thief of sight, and that's why we want to create the awareness. Okay, in Malaysia, because there is 40 of us, 40 glaucoma specialists, maybe 30 to 40 glaucoma specialists, and every time we see a person that blind or legally blind means the visual field is less than 10 degree. It's a pity. I wish you have come to us earlier. So that's why we want to advocate this disease awareness, so that get your eye screened, check your eye pressure, see how much of your nerves are there, like your nerves are healthy or not, is it perfusing well, is the blood flow is okay, and kind of thing, so that we can prevent this from happening and definitely prevent blindness.
Now, just I'm just curious, if I get glaucoma in one eye,
Yes.
will it affect the other?
It's a systemic problem. It's your body problem. So most of the time glaucoma is both eye. So maybe the severity may different. Maybe one eye has a severe glaucoma and the other eye has a mild glaucoma. But most of the time, it's both eyes.
Both eyes. Even though it's one, it's the death of the optic nerves.
No, but the genetics is the same genetics.
Oh,
the blood
okay.
flow is the same blood flow.
Okay.
Right? My previous boss used to say, your eyes don't float.
They are connected.
I remember that. Because we tend sometimes as an ophthalmologist, we concentrated so much in the eye that we forget the systemic health, right? That's why she keep reminding, check the heart, check everything.
It's crazy, doctor. You've been sharing so many things. I think let's just paint the picture here, some context here. So you've talked about the end stages where you get the narrowing of the vision, then the blindness and the pain, right?
Yes.
Are there any other symptoms that maybe you want to highlight that people should suspect that they may be getting glaucoma? For instance, like I've seen some cases, like some of my older relatives, their eyes will suddenly have like a red mark. Yeah.
Well, again, I know it looks scary, but that is the most innocuous, most benign thing that can happen in the eye.
Really?
It's like,
it looks scary.
It looks scary. It paints a red flag, but we call it a subconjunctival hemorrhage because the eye vessels are so tiny. They're very, very tiny, especially the conjunctival vessels. Even a sneeze and cough can burst them.
Oh, so there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah. So if you the day before you cough like so much, of course you're going to burst your blood vessels. Sometimes even the child that cries a lot, they get the burst. This is the most innocuous thing. You don't have to worry about it.
But so basically, the symptoms that you talk about glaucoma is basically for you have two cases. Of course, the acute is the painful one, and then the rise.
Yeah.
Okay, so but what are the symptoms that someone should be wary about?
Okay, unfortunately, no, nothing.
No symptoms.
No symptoms. Most of 90%, I can say 90% of the time.
That's unfair.
I mean, again, we know how heavy is this condition and how blinding is this condition. So that's why we want to come and create this awareness that please check your eyes. If you're going to do a medical checkup, do the eye checkup together. You are there in the hospital, right? Just go see an ophthalmologist because 90% of the time is asymptomatic. If I can think hard, sometimes if you have a closed angle, sometimes the closed angle happen because your eyeball is literally small, right? You're born with a smaller eye. As I said, like 24 is the cutoff. Sometimes if your millimeter, the length is 22, if the cataract is developing in a smaller eye, so you will tend to see it earlier. So sometimes you get glares and halos. So that shows that there is an intermittent high pressure. So that's in close angle, like glares and halo. Of course, intermittent headaches, pain, redness, all that is more to a close angle. Open angle, nothing until the last minute. Yeah.
You talk a lot about genetics, so that means there is a genetic factor to you getting glaucoma, right?
Definitely.
But who are the ones who are at higher risk of getting glaucoma?
Okay, so there are certain type of genetics that I don't want to go. But if your parents or first degree relatives, first degree, your brothers, siblings and all, or your maternal uncle, paternal uncle has glaucoma, most likely you have that gene. Okay, so first thing, if you have a family history of glaucoma in your first degree or second degree relative, you have to get screened. Chinese, Mongolian eye, literally has a higher genetic predisposition.
Mongolian eye.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, Chinese people. Not to be racist here.
The East Asians. Of course, in Japan and China is a big problem. The Taiwanese, Japan is a big problem. Okay. And of course, we have our fair share. Singapore also same. All right. Because literally the eye is smaller. Right, the blood flow, everything is compromised. And other side is the African. If you're in the African ancestry, you have a high risk of glaucoma. But now it's a bit merged already. I can't really pinpoint and see who has and who has not, like who do not going to develop. But there are certain genes that we can pinpoint. But again, the only thing is if you have a family history.
That's it.
Family history, 100%. You have to get your eyes screened.
Okay, and there is no lifestyle factors?
Okay, lifestyle, I'm scared to say because sometimes when I say that, they say they stuck on this and then they are like, I can do this and I can prevent glaucoma, right? So now you have to understand, if you have the genetics or if you have the predisposition to develop glaucoma, you're going to develop glaucoma. Okay, I'm sorry to say. Like
you can't, so it means there's no way to actually prevent it?
Hopefully you can skip, you can be lucky. Right? Okay. So how you're going to improve, how you're going to reduce your risk of developing glaucoma? Exercise, as I said. Okay. Exercise, aerobic exercises, really proven to be beneficial. But if you're going to do a yoga, you have to avoid all the upside positions, like a head down position, all your downward dogs, your sahasra, what do you call it? I don't know. Right, all the upside down positions. Okay, you have to avoid it because you don't want to put any pressure on your eye. So that is pure nose for the eyes. Okay, and another one that we advocate is a mindful meditation or mindful deep breathing techniques. Okay, in India they have done extensive research. You can read about this deep breathing techniques for glaucoma or to reduce your eye pressure. It's like taking a deep breath and holding it for a few seconds, 15 seconds, and letting them go. If I'm not mistaken, it's called pranayam, like that. So that can reduce some amount of eye pressure and some amount of eye stress. But we don't know in long run it's going to be beneficial or not. But it can help you in some ways. Caffeine proven to increase the eye pressure. So, of course, anything in excess. I'm not saying that you don't take coffee, then all of us will die. Right? So, 1 or 2 cups of coffee not going to do any harm, but a lot of coffee definitely going to increase glaucoma. Remember, I said that gun is already loaded. Maybe that will be the trigger factor. Okay, so you don't know what's going to be the trigger factor, right? So that's a bit of a lifestyle.
I'm just curious about one thing. You talk about glaucoma is the death of the optic nerves, right?
Correct.
You talk a lot about the pressure within the eye because
Yes.
you say it has water, it's a balloon.
Yes.
What else can cause the death of the optic nerves?
One is the pressure. Another one is the blood flow.
So these two things only.
Two things, because the pressure is coming from within, the blood flow is from the outside.
Okay.
So that's why I emphasize on that diabetes and hypertension and
I
heart
understand.
disease. So
Okay.
if you have a condition that's going to compromise blood flow, that's going to affect, all right? So that's why meditation is good. That's why aerobic exercises is good, because it's going to improve your blood flow. And eye is a little bit above eye and brain. So for the heart to pump the blood, you need to do some exercises to keep it healthy. But when you lie down and then the heart work more, so there will be a drop of blood pressure around the eye when you're sleeping. Okay, that's another thing. Because when you're sleeping, you're lying down, right? There will be a drop of blood pressure because the heart is not pumping enough. But drop of blood pressure means the eye is not getting enough oxygen. So some patients that take blood pressure medication at night before they sleep, they are at risk of developing glaucoma.
Because it lowers it down.
It lowers the blood pressure even more. So the blood
It's
flow.
like one thing leads to another.
So what we tell sometimes we control the eye pressure so much, but the glaucoma is still progressing. Then we reach out to our physicians, the doctors that control the hypertension, and then I ask, is there any avenue for them not to take the blood pressure medication at night, or can you not lower the blood pressure so much? 120/80 is okay, but don't go below that, something like that. So blood flow is very important. It's either the eye pressure or the blood flow. So that's why food-wise, I'm scared to say this,
No,
but
please,
again,
please.
vitamin B3, it is in the trial. We are hoping that it will matter, because so far we all of us looking for a holy grail. If we say it's not reversible, we are looking for something that can reverse. So vitamin B3 is in trial now. So it's shown some promises that it can reverse the glaucoma. I mean, it can grow back some cells. We are not sure, but vitamin B proven to be very good. And antioxidants like ginkgo. Ginkgo again improves the blood flow. So sometimes at the end stage we don't know what to do. We put them on ginkgo as well because we want to improve the blood flow. Turmeric, saffron, all that. A little bit of everything. I'm sure. Don't go and take a lot of that.
Put in your eye or something.
Turmeric and saffron.
Yeah.
All that is antioxidants as well.
Okay.
So maybe our traditional food is good.
So is that why you see lower cases of glaucoma among Indians? I mean, we love turmeric.
I don't vouch for that. India is very high.
Very high cases. Okay.
So probably no. But whoever that stick to the traditional diet, probably, you get a little bit more advantage. I'm not sure.
Now, okay, so I wanted to ask you a question about why is it that the glaucoma blindness is irreversible, unlike cataract? But I guess the answer is because it's the death of the nerves, and then that's it, right?
Correct.
So now, let's go into treatment. Let's go to a bit of an uplifting side, because you after this interview, I'm really scared now. I got to really change my life.
I want people to be scared.
I am. Congratulations.
Please be scared.
Yeah.
Please check your eyes.
How is it treated? And does the treatment procedures vary if it's caught early or later, or are they the same?
100%. So that's why treating it early is better.
Okay,
right?
because it's easier. Okay.
All right? Early stage is easy to
Okay.
treat. Of course, again, there is no avenue to return the dead nerves. Okay, I can't regrow the nerves. So what I'm going to do is stabilize your disease so that you stay where you are. If you have lost your nerves 30%, you have 70% now. I know it's going to die. I'm not going to cure it. We're just going to slow the progress. If I know that, if you don't do anything, probably the 70% will become 30% in 5 years. Hopefully, I will do something so that I can extend the lifetime so that as long as you live, you don't go blind. Okay? So that's all we can do. That means prolong the lifetime of the nerves so that in your lifetime, you don't go blind. So probably from 70, it will still going to go down to 65 and 60, but you will still maintain some vision, good vision for you to ambulate and lead a good quality life. Okay. For that, the only thing I can do is to reduce your eye pressure.
That's all.
That's all, unfortunately, because I can't repair.
How would you do that?
Okay, so first step is by putting the eye drops. Okay, so eye drops, easier. We can prescribe better. Like when I said just put the eye drops, okay? But the only problem is you have to put the eye drops properly. Make sure they land on your eye, not on your eyelid and side. So that will be the first month problem when I start the eye drop, because the eye drops has to be used properly. So the problem with the eye drops is adherence and compliance. So I ask them to put once a day. It's fine. But when I put the second, because normally first drop is okay, but the pressure maybe is reduced from 30 to 25. So like I want 18 and below. So I put you on a second drop and it still come to 21. And I put it on a third drop, then they lose count. They don't adhere to the treatment so much, and then the glaucoma progress. But always the first step in Malaysia I'm saying, because overseas is different already. We always advocate eye drops because it's easy, non-invasive, and perceived better by the patients because we're not touching your eye. I'm just asking you to put the eye drop. But now we have this devices called minimally invasive glaucoma surgery, like a keyhole surgery. You heard about
Is that one where the needle goes inside the eye?
That's a different one.
Okay, sorry. I'm watching too much of House.
Literally, because now the drain is not working, right? I can put a small stent in the drain to pump the water better. So sometimes we can reduce the number of eye drops. If you're using 3 eye drops, after the stent you only use 1 eye drop.
How small will this stent be?
Very interesting. This is the smallest implantable device in the body.
Obviously.
It's very tiny. It's in micrometer. It's less 50 micrometer if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it comes. Of course, we microsurgeons. We do operation under microscope. So there are this new group of devices called minimally invasive glaucoma surgery, which are very safe, very, very safe. In overseas, we already start talking about interventional glaucoma, as in like don't start them on drops, just put them on stent first, because drops mean you're leaving the disease in the patient's hand. If you put the stent, you don't have to worry whether the patient is putting the eye drops or not. But in Malaysia, of course, again, culturally, traditionally, we are not that aggressive, and a patient perceive like I want to put something in the eye, they're scared.
Of course.
So so we reserve it as a second line. So eye drops not working. Second one is a minimally invasive glaucoma surgery. Not much cutting, small micrometers. Okay, we put the stents in the. It's a 15 minutes procedure again. Okay, very safe. Right, but it only can last you 3 to 5 years because the stents can get blocked as well, right? And when these all not working, as in the pressure is still not up to the level I want, maybe keep lowering the pressure also. So 18 is not enough, I'll lower it, I want 15 because the nerve is still dying. So I want it to make it 15. So at that time, we will have to go a bit more invasive surgery. We have to open up the drain. So you have to create a new pathway. So your original drain is all blocked. So either I can put a new drain, a new shunt, new tube. I don't want to sound scary, but
again, it is, doctor.
We can channel the fluid better because your original drain is not working. So
can't you clean up that drain?
Even if I clean up, like the sieve is not working.
Oh, okay, because it's already contracted.
It's contracted already. Even if I do anything, it's still not going to work. The only way is I put a new drain for you. But again, if you need to do, you need to do, right? I'm being a glaucoma surgeon. I do like 3 to 4 glaucoma surgeries a week, and most of my patients thank me.
Even while listening to this, I think, again, I'm making an assumption here, but a lot of people's concern will be that would it lead to them going blind?
Yes.
Does it? Has it?
Which the disease, the surgery?
Surgery.
The risk is always there, right? Any condition, any medical condition, any medical surgical treatment has some amount of risk. Like you go on the road, no one going to guarantee you that you're not going to get into accident, but you still drive because you need to get to the destination. That's how this works because we always benefit versus the risk. The risk of you going blind is 1 in 100,000 from the surgery.
Too bad. Okay.
From the surgery.
Yeah.
But if you don't do the surgery, I know 100% you're going to go blind. right?
Doctor, you're an amazing salesperson. Okay.
So, I mean, I would say, like, I mean, I'm not God. I'm not saying, doctor, then they will ask, doctor, how long I have? I say, I'm not God. Like, I can't say how long you have with this. You have a pressure of 25 and you have 30% nerve left. All my concern is to take care of your 30% nerves. I do what I can to take care of the 30% nerves. But I know if at the pressure of 28, from all the researches, all the studies that we have done over the past 50, 60 years, we know at the pressure of 28, you're going to go blind, right? So we have to do something to treat it. So when you have to go for the treatment, but again, see, we have this minimally invasive glaucoma surgeries. We have these tubes, which are, last time used to be big tubes. Now it's like micro tubes, like a smaller shunt. I can do the surgery within an hour. Again, you don't have to stay in the ward. It's still a daycare procedure.
So after surgery, it's just life as per usual. They can see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to improve your vision. Whatever that you are lost is lost.
Lost, yeah.
But I'm doing my best to maintain your vision, because the treatment of glaucoma, unfortunately, is preservation of whatever the nerve and maintenance of your quality of life. That's what we aim at.
So are these the three treatments that you would prescribe, right?
Oh, sorry. And again, there is a laser procedure.
Okay.
The laser comes in between eye drop and the minimally invasive. What I can do, the sieve is not working, right? Sometimes I can just laser it, so try to see whether they can open up better. So there is a role for laser procedure.
Okay.
But again, in Malaysia, I do for my patients, definitely. But again, the take-up is not so great because it's very hard to predict who will respond and who is not responding. But I do it because it's worth the try.
Have there been cases where the surgeries don't work?
Of course.
That means after you're doing it, but the whole eye pressure remains the same or keeps increasing, or?
Because the surgery is just to reduce the pressure. If I see that the success of the surgery, most of the time surgery is successful in reducing the eye pressure, most of the time. But have I stopped the progression of the optic nerve from dying? Maybe not.
Okay.
Because there's something else that I don't understand happening at the back of the eye. Because the only thing, as I said, what we can do is to slow the progress by reducing the eye pressure. But in some cases, not many, I don't have statistics, but in my sense, maybe 1 in 500, even though the pressure is low, like 11 and 12, the damage is still happening. In that case, we just give up and try to see what can protect the nerves and all those things. But that's rare. All right. So as long as the pressure is low, we hope to maintain your vision.
Now, if glaucoma is left untreated, definitely it would eventually lead to blindness, right? Irreversible blindness, right?
Blindness.
But are there any other physical or side effects of not treating glaucoma to your body? Or to your face or your mind or brain, it just stays in your eye.
No, but you see, the problem by losing, I don't know, you have to talk about blind people, because we see blind, visually impaired, I'm not saying they are less motivated. They are less motivated with their life, and then the amount of study we have done with the depression, mental health, quality of life is extremely low in people with the visually impaired people.
Of course.
Of course. So they are the one who get the depression most. And sometimes, imagine if you don't have enough social support. When they are alone, or, the family is not supportive and you can't see, how depressing it is. So that reels down to another Pandora box, So because vision, but if you can see, our eye clinics are brimming because people are so scared of going blind. I'm sure, right? It's one of the most important fear, if you say, like one of the statistics, people fear of going blind. So that's why the moment I say you have some problem, people will be like, keep checking their eyes. So it's, they said the gift of sight, right? So you have to preserve the gift of sight. Right?
No, Doctor, I'm all supportive of this now. I did not know, because I did not know just how serious this problem is, right? Glaucoma is so, I think eye care is something that we don't talk about at all.
Correct.
And I had a lot of myths in my head that have been busted thanks to this conversation with you. What are in your experience, what are some of the misconceptions that people have on glaucoma or eye care that you have encountered?
Okay, most of the time, I have no symptoms. I'm fine. That is the first thing. Okay, so doctor, I can see well. And I'm saying, yeah, you can see well. I know you can see well because most of your visual field is preserved. You're only losing few nerves here. So what we do, that's the first myth. Just because you can see well now, that doesn't mean you're going to see well in 10 years. Right? So that's the first thing you have to understand.
Okay, sorry, just one thing. There's something popped in my head. So that means how early can you see the death of the nerves then?
When it's happening, because we have a device, imaging technique called OCT, optical coherence tomography. Remember I said there's 1 million nerves?
Yeah.
We can see how thick is the nerves. It's a CT scan of the eye, right? So
each nerve you can see how thick it is?
The layers. The layer of the nerve. So roughly we have like 100, 122, the thickness of it, 100 to 120. So we measure the thickness of the length, the nerve fiber layer, and we know that if you're losing even 10, this time you have 100, the next time you come 90, I know you're losing already. So we can pick up very early.
And once this nerve starts to die, thinning, how long is the general average time span before you lose vision if it's untreated?
Very hard to say because we don't know you are a rapid progressor or you're a slow progressor. Is
that like a median number? No.
Right. 10 years.
10 years, so fast.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Imagine if you're 40 now. You're not going to be blind in, I'm sorry, not you. You're not going to go blind in 10 years.
Not me, doctor.
But you might lose some functional vision. Okay. Imagine if I say, like, you can't drive.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, at 50. At 50, you're like, you retire. You're going to retire in 10 years' time. Like, you have 101 activities in your brain. Like, you want to do this, you want to do that. And I said, you can't do this. So that's a short. Now we are an aging population. Thank God, like we are a developing nation, almost going to be a developed nation. So we are an aging population. So I foresee this problem going to be magnitudely bigger in future because one thing is the myopia pandemic. Most of them going to end up glaucoma later, and all these people going to be like age. The lifetime is more, right? So it's like even a patient with 70, they come to me, doctor, sudah tua lah, tak apa lah. I said, Pakcik, I have to take care of you for the next 30 years, right?
What is the ratio and what's the trend of change for people getting glaucoma or being diagnosed with glaucoma, the older compared to the younger? Say below 21 is the cutoff for the younger and then above that. What's the ratio?
So there is a condition called childhood glaucoma. Okay?
My goodness, really?
Childhood glaucoma. So but genetics, they're born with it, and it's very hard to treat actually. All right, so we would try. Those are the patients that underwent multitude of surgeries, but still most of them it's very hard to treat. Okay, so there are very few success stories actually, but no need to scare. It's very rare, very rare. Okay. But of course, when you have a family history, that's why I say children need to get screened because you don't know whether you have or not. But a quick one: if your child is tearing a lot, the child has a protruded eye, like we call it big eyes. That's most likely because the eye pressure is high, and they might have childhood glaucoma. So the symptoms are tearing, big eyes, and frequent eye rubbing.
Okay.
So if your child has this, maybe you should just get it checked for glaucoma. Okay, the childhood glaucoma is before 21 years old. That starts before 21 years old. Of course, it will continue on for their lifetime. Most of our patients are 40, 45 now. Very hard to treat, but we will try to preserve some vision as long as we can. We are not God again. We try to preserve as much as we can. But after 40, you have an idea about your eye. Like just know what is your basic eye pressure. Is your eye healthy or not? Probably you can check every 2 years. But after 50, make it yearly. Right?
No, but in terms of the cases that you see,
cases,
are they majority older?
Older. It's 60 and above.
60 and above.
60 and above. But 60 and above, that patient that come to us with symptoms.
That means they would have seen their optic nerves dying at 50, 40.
50. Besides, if they get screened earlier, the magnitude of the disease won't be so severe by the time they come to us.
Okay.
But again, it's disease of the elderly. Because nothing going to happen overnight. The nerve's going to die slowly. And most of them symptomatic at 70, right? And there is no reason you should go blind, right? Again, if you are 80, you have glaucoma. If you need surgery, you need surgery. Because your last 10 years, if you were to die at 90, I'm sure you want to see something. Like, you don't, sometimes our mentality is accept, serahkan, pasrah, and even the Chinese, Malay, Indian, sudah tua, and all those things. But it's like, recently I've done a surgery on a 93-year-old lady, and she was so excited to get the surgery because she said she wanted to save her vision as long as she lived. I think that should be the attitude. Yeah.
Okay, doctor. I mean, this has been amazing, man. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get myself screened. No, I want to get myself screened. But I mean, let's close it with this then.
Yes.
How do I get myself screened? What are the avenues available for me to get myself screened? And
okay.
checked?
First of all, this World Glaucoma Week
Yes.
is a world initiative by World Glaucoma Association, because we know the magnitude of problem. At least in that week, we try to do a lot of activities to do screenings and to create awareness so that the people will. So World Glaucoma Week this year is from 9 to 15 March. So what you can look out for is there will be a free screening most of the eye centers, because everyone adopt this World Glaucoma Week campaign. So look out for that. And we have our website, a Facebook page called World Glaucoma Week. Facebook, you just need to Google World Glaucoma Week Malaysia, and we will post all the centers, whatever the centers that have a free screening. Okay, so try to get into that one of the free screening.
Okay,
right?
I will find
Sign
my
up
way
for
there.
that,
Yeah.
and then March. Look out for March. March, every year, March, surely there will be a lot of centers that are doing free screening. So if you miss that, then you just go to normal clinic kesehatan and tell them that you have a family history or you want to get your eye screened, then they will refer you to the nearest eye centers, government eye clinics. Otherwise, any private eye clinics, I'm sure they have some packages for eye screenings and all those things. So it's very easy. Again, if you're going to go for your medical checkup, make sure you include eye assessment.
Definitely.
Okay, right?
From now on, I'm doing that.
So it's something that worth doing it. Totally worth doing it. And this World Glaucoma Week is for us to create awareness. And not to create fear, to create awareness, so that you screen your eyes and detect glaucoma earlier, because it's a silent thief of sight. And take control and prevent the disease from happening.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. That's been amazing. So, guys, as you heard, in conjunction with the World Glaucoma Week, there's going to be many free screenings for you to enjoy. So, I guess Googling will be a good way. We'll also be sharing Dr. Pushpa's website and her social media as well, so you guys can personally get in touch with her to find out where you can get your screenings if you want to. Any questions about glaucoma, please ask her. I'm sure she'll be ever ready to answer. So as I said earlier, this episode is brought to you by World Glaucoma Week Charity Run 2025. The event's happening at Taman Botani, Negara, Shah on the 23rd of February at 7:15 in the morning. I will be there running, trying to, maybe walking a bit most of the time. But again, it's a fun time with family and friends. 5 km fun run, nothing much on the body. It's just a fun time to raise funds for people who are visually impaired, and also to spread awareness on this preventable disease. Will you be having free screenings of glaucoma at the event?
We will be distributing pamphlets.
That'd be good enough. Good enough. At least you know.
I'm sure you will be sweaty.
Sweaty, yes. So not a good time for
Not a good time for the screening.
Yeah.
But you can see most of the eye specialists.
Who'll be there?
Will be there.
Perfect.
You can catch us. You can ask whatever.
Are you running, Doctor?
I have to, I guess. Well, I can't excuse myself as an organizing committee.
Yeah, I gotta go. Something like that.
But very good. We will have a lot of free eye drops, artificial tears.
Oh, okay. Free eye drops then.
Free eye drops.
Free eye drops.
Most of you have dry eyes.
Yeah,
you get a high quality free eye drops.
For free?
For free
Perfect.
in your goodie bags. So,
Okay.
and then I think Zeus Coffee giving us 10% voucher.
Okay.
Yeah, now the coffee price going to increase, so never mind.
So 10%.
10% voucher
Yeah.
for Zeus Coffee and a lucky draw of iPad. I don't know how to get you people run.
Just join in, guys.
Yeah.
So the links will be in the description. We'll be posting a lot of videos. So again, in all of our TikTok, Instagram, All the descriptions will have the link. You can also click on the link on the bio on Instagram, TikTok. The whole form link will be there as well. So sign up, join for a good cause, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Dr. Pushpa. I would love to have you on again.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because I'm setting up a sort of a healthcare segment on this channel as well.
Right.
So, because a lot of my listeners are my age, and so we need to know more about that.
age.
Yeah, we are the same age. Yeah. So thank you again. Please come again. Please, you're always welcome on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
It's great talking to you.
Nah, you too.
Okay.
So guys, we'll see you all soon again. Join World Glaucoma Week Charity Run 2025, 23rd February, 7 in the morning, Taman, Botani, Negara, Shah. The links will be in the description. Sign up and we will see you there. And take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.